fuck's going down? Today we're talking about cards that deserve to be nerfed. I'm drinking some Guinness. Woo. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna show these cards off first originally how they are currently. Then I'm going to show you what I would do to nerf them if I was in charge of Blizzard's decision making for Hearthstone card balance. And then I'm going to show a realistic nerf that would be more appropriate and probably actually happen. Well, actually, the nerf will probably be a bit harsher than that, because when Blizzard nerfs something, they really nerf the shit out of it. But anyways, we're going to do that today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and do the first one. Alright, and this is basically going to be all Shaman cards for the most part, because Shaman cards really need to be nerfed. So let's go ahead and... the Tunnel Trog. That's a good-ass one drop, isn't it? That is a 1/3 that gains attack damage whenever you use a card that gives you Overload. Overload is intended to be a punishment to compensate for the overpowered card that you get. So instead of it being a punishment, it becomes a buff because fuck you. And here is what I think should have been done about this card. Okay, so the card now becomes a 1/2 for 1 mana with a 90% chance to hit your own face. And it gains nothing when you overload. Fuck you. That seems a little bit more realistic to me, but here's a change that Blizzard would probably actually go through with. Alright, so it's the same card, but when the turn is over, it goes back to a 1/3, or a 1/2 if it's been damaged, or whatever. I think that's fair. You know, Overload's supposed to be a fucking punishment, so why don't we just leave it there? Okay, so the 4 mana 7/7. You know this would be on the list, because this card's stupid. That's what it looks like today. This is what I think it should look like. Battle Cry, receive cancer in your ball sack. Overload 7. So the consequence for this card, the stakes have been raised. You know, it's still a 4 mana 7/7, but you get cancer in your balls. And the overload is to the point where you can't do something the following turn. Seems fair. And this is what I think a more realistic nerf should be. It's a 7/5 overload 2. I mean, like, they already released the card, like, before this. It was, like, the elemental, like, the fire elemental thing that ranges from, like, being a 3/6 to a 7/6, depending on, like, how you roll. And I thought that was already pretty fucking powerful. They didn't have to introduce this card. There was no reason for this card to ever exist. But this is, like, a 7/5, so if you don't have a polymorph, which is basically what you need to deal with this card, you at least have a less of a time killing it. So I don't know, fuck this card. Next, Spirit Claws. People want to see Spirit Claws get nerfed. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but you know, I'm not too upset with it. But anyways, here's what I think should happen. My nerf for this card is as follows. Has +1 attack while you have cancer. I've already had to have ball cancer given to you from one of the previous cards, and then you get 1 attack, and it's a 1/2 now. This is a more appropriate nerf, is +1 attack when you have spell damage, so a 2/3 for 1 mana is still pretty fucking good, I would say. Thank you very much, Blizzard. Next card, the Totem Golem. Yeah, Totem Golem. It's a 3-drop for 2 mana. Stupid. This is what I would do to this card. It's a 2 mana 1/1, okay? With the overload 1, and your hero power costs 3 mana for the rest of your life. But what is more appropriate is probably this. It's a 3/3 for 2 mana, right? It's better than every other 2-drop. You get, you know, instead of a 3/4, which is fucked, a 3/3. You know, you can still trade with it, but it's like a very well-rounded 2-drop. It's still the most powerful 2-drop with very little consequence. But anyways, we're going to hop right into the next card here. N'Zoth's First Mate. Okay. N'Zoth's First Mate is a little bit ridiculous. It wasn't so terrible when you didn't have all the pirate synergy in a warrior deck, but you know, now that you do, I don't believe it's very fair to have N'Zoth's First Mate come out and you get a weapon and you get the small time Buccaneer and you get patches all with one fucking turn one with a coin. It's really fucked. So I think this card should look more like this. Alright, it's a 1 mana 0/1 battle cry equipped equipped cancer in your ball sack. Right? That's what you deserve when you run a card like that. And this is what probably could happen to it. But it probably won't get nerfed at all. But this is just more realistic, I think. It's equipped a 1/2 Rusty Hook instead of a 1/3 Rusty Hook. Yeah. Next card. The Small Time Buccaneer. This is going to be the last card that I review today. This is what it looks like. I'm sure you're familiar with it because you see it at the beginning of every turn of every game you play. This is what it should look like. It's a legendary, right? So you can only get one of them. And it has cancer in his ball sack while you have a weapon equipped. I'm sorry. I'm very stupid. I'm a juvenile human being. But fuck this card. That's what it deserves. He deserves cancer in his balls. Next. Has +1 attack while you have a weapon equipped, and it's a 2/1, so it becomes a 3/1 with a weapon equipped. It's not a fantastic card, but probably still a little better than most of the 1-drops out there. And rightly so. It doesn't need to be a fucking flame imp with no consequences like it is today that automatically brings a 1/1 with charge onto the board. Fuck that shit. It's stupid. It's super fucking lame. But that's it for today. Short video. I thought I would entertain you with some of my nerfs. Why don't you come back and maybe I'll do some more of these tomorrow. Or maybe I'll do something else tomorrow. I'm going to do some sort of top 10 video tomorrow. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Check out my other shit. And leave comments. And we'll see you tomorrow.